Zel boy army, how are we doing today? Your boy Zelonius, my beautiful friend Ainsley here. We've been in the tactics kitchen, cooking up some spicy tactics for you. We're presenting to you today the best 4-4-2 custom tactics on FIFA 20. Me and Ainsley have been working on this one for a while. I like the 4-4-2 a lot. It's got a lot of pros to it. I think the 4-4-2 in line with the 4-2-3-1 is the best formation on FIFA 20. I've been practicing with this tactic. I've used it earlier in the year, but I wanted to try the 4-4-2 out again to have a bit more fun. I think having two strikers up front is always more fun on FIFA. I think the 4-2-3-1 just works so well because of how balanced it is, the two CDMs, the front four. But the 4-4-2 has some similar patterns, but then some different stuff that make it stand out a bit. I really like it as a formation. I'm going to show you how I run it in game. Let's have a look. Here we go. Okay, so 4-4-2, balanced. I tend to, in most of my tactics, not recommend anything more aggressive than that. I've tried, even on this patch, to be using press on heavy touch, press on possession loss. I just don't think you have as much control over your team in that. So personally, I still think balanced is the best to start with. In this tactic, I think it's a bit more pressing anyway than the 4-2-3-1 naturally. So I'd like to have more width, more depth. You can be a bit more aggressive with this tactic than the 4-2-3-1. So if you want a more attacking tactic from the get-go to get into your opponent's face, the 4-4-2 is it. Balanced defensive style, again, I don't think you want any of the others in your standard one. I'm not showing you any of my other tactics simply because this tactic today, this video, is simply about the 4-4-2 as a normal tactic to use. You can see I use it as my ultra attacking to get back into games, but that is a different video in itself. The 4-4-2, I have lots of width in the attack. I think the natural width that the left mid and right mid given this formation are really good. One of the things that's really good in this formation is that the left mid and right mid, they pull the right back and left back from the opposition out wide, and then it gives you more space in the middle for the two strikers. If you use the left mid and right mid properly, as I'll show you in some gameplay clips, you can even create a lot of space in the middle simply because they don't have enough defenders to deal with the strikers. Yeah, 4-4-2 tactics. That's the team. I want 5-star weak foot in the attack. 5-star weak foot in the two strikers is really big. It makes a huge. I wouldn't run this team with the 4-4-2. On this account, I've been practicing in friendlies with my icons that I run. But you want the lone ones. You want 5-star weak foot at striker. Makes you a lot less predictable and really boosts the attack. Out wide, you want strength and pace. The strength and pace is just a great outlet. Can open teams up. Middle, you want Bakayoko probably wouldn't be the best of this, but you want you want centre mids who can do a bit of everything, box to box. Like the dream centre mids in this formation would be maybe like a Hullet and a Team the KDB. You don't want to run this formation with a weak team really. I think the 4-4-2 you need a pretty good team to play it effectively, whereas the 4-2-3-1 I think you can run with a cheap team. 4-4-2 you really do need two top centre mids, otherwise it just isn't as good. It's one of the formations that does rely a bit more on the team because you don't have the three men in the midfield. You need two really strong ones. The other option as well, the 4-4-2 second variation, I do like this one. I think this is a very good one. If you want a bit more of a defensive version, if you're used to the 4-2-3-1, then this is a really good one to start with. I like that formation a lot. I think this one's a bit more balanced and a bit more attacking, but this one with the CDMs is still very nice and a very effective formation. 4 players in box because it's quite attacking anyway. I don't think you need to put more than that. And like I said, lots of width. I have the strikers on stay central, stay forward. This game, so much of the attack is built around the edge of the box, having chances around there. So I don't want to be using anything other than stay central. I want my strikers to stay in the middle, stay around the danger area to cause havoc. You don't want to change their attacking runs, in my opinion. I find when you change attacking runs on this game, it just makes your team weaker because getting behind, they just keep running offside. Target man doesn't work. False 9, they just drop into CDM. So just use mixed attack, it just works better on this game. Stay forward, because if you put comeback on defense, strikers can't come back anyway. The 4-2-3-1, one of the reasons it's so effective is that when you put everyone on comeback on defense except the striker, you have all but one man coming back. In this formation, because it's 2 strikers, the strikers won't come back properly, so it's a bit weaker defensively, simply because of that. But it does have 2 banks of 4 with the flat midfield 4 and the flat defensive back 4. So it's very good for that. It's very hard to break down with low width. That's it. If you want to go to a really defensive version of this, go to the defensive mids and then change the width to 2 and the depth to 2. Then it's very hard to break down. The wingers, or left mid, right mid, come back on defense, stay wide, get in behind. I don't really want them in getting to box, but that is an option you could experiment with. Come back on defense is important, so they help you out. Stay wide is important, so they give you width. Getting behind is important, so counter attack and pen teams in. The midfield, everything's default except for cover centre. If you have a cheap team and you really want to run this formation, you might want to put like a Bakayoko on stay back. I still like him on balanced attack to help around the edge of the box. I think it's quite important in the 4-4-2 that your CDMs or centre mids get forward, so you don't just have only 2 players around the middle of the box. And then the fullbacks stay back while attacking. I don't really want to have my fullbacks bombing forward and leave me very vulnerable. Let's get into some gameplay clips where I show you the patterns of this formation and how it plays. One of the things you can notice straight away in this formation that I like is just the space that it gives you. One of the reasons that I like the 4-4-2 is it covers all areas of the pitch really well. It covers out wide with the left mid and the right mid. It's still got good space in the middle with 2 centre mids, 2 strikers. Has the flat back 4 defence, which I really like. You can just see here on the radar, got the flat back 4 stretched out because we play quite wide with the 7 width. Left mid up here, right mid down here, then the centre mids will start to move forward, and we've still got 2 strikers that can occupy the defence. That shape in game stretches teams out, helps you to keep the ball quite well. It's not as good for keeping the ball with nice short passing, but if you use the radar and use the space width that this formation gives you, it is actually quite a good formation for keeping the ball getting out of the press. Okay, we score a goal here. I want you to watch the goal that we score, and then we'll play it back and I'll talk to you about why the 4-4-2 is effective here and how it opened my opponent up. Nice dribbling with Figo. Okay, here. Instantly, what I can notice is we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attackers pretty much all in the box. The 2 wingers are very close to the box. So we watch it back. Here, Sanchez is taking this guy. The left mids pulled these out. The centre mids occupied these. The other centre mids occupied the left back. And then one of his defensive players at the bottom of the screen there is occupied by our right mid. Instantly, we've overloaded our opponent with a lot of players. Overloading your opponent with information is one of the things I talk about a lot of FIFA 20. That is a very good way of scoring goals. You don't score goals on FIFA this year unless you either get lucky, do something special to break them down, or have lots of options to help you out. The 4-4-2, especially the one with centre mids, gives you a lot of options bombing forward that can break your opponent down. You have to be careful on the counter attack if you have this many players up, but when you've got this many players up, you should have good options to be able to create space. See there, Ramos is taken away by the other striker. Most formations that are strong on this game don't have 2 strikers. Like the narrow diamond that used to be really good, it isn't that effective because of the lack of width in it. This formation has the width that the narrow diamond doesn't have, but still has the 2 strikers. And I like having a cam on this game. Having a cam makes a big difference, and I don't like not having that in this formation. However, you still get lots of options from midfield because the centre mids on balanced attack get forward. You have to be patient to give them a chance to get forward, but when they get forward, they give you lots of options, so you still have link-up play. Great finish by Figo. Okay, in this attack here, I want you to just see how easy it is to keep the ball in the 4-4-2 because the width and space the formation gives. You can go back to the fullbacks, centre mids get involved, the strikers as well a lot of the time because they're on stay central. They will focus around this area, but they will drop back in, they will make space, they interlink with the centre mids who get forward. Centre mids also obviously help you out defensively. Even if you play CDM, so you play the second variation, they will still get forward and get involved if you have them on balanced attack. See there, we work a shot. Probably not the smartest shot to take. But if you just look at all the space. Even at the bottom of the pitch, could have passed down there. That pass was free. We've always got the fullbacks there. Naturally, the left mid up there and the right mid down there, they pull the defence apart, which creates more space in the middle, and it gives the left back and right back more freedom. But then you still got two strikers to link up to and another centre mid to pass to. So I find it a very good formation for keeping the ball. But you need to be patient. But with four players, the two centre mids and the two strikers, working around here, they will eventually find some space on the edge of the box. And a lot of the time, the left mid and right mid, if you play smart enough, they will eventually get in behind. If you find it in this formation, the left mid and right mid are just too wide for you, and you want them to get involved in the middle or get into the box a bit more, then you can lower the width of the formation, gradually lower it and test it, and then change gain to the box to balance, change balance crossing runs to get into the box. Defensively, I don't think this formation is quite as solid on this game as the 4-2-3-1, simply because at the start of the year, they nerfed the ability for strikers to come back on defence. At the start of the year, this was potentially the best defensive formation in the game, because you have this flat midfield here, who cover across the pitch. You have the flat back four defence, but furthermore, what you was having was you had the strikers would come back. The strikers would effectively sit on the edge of the box. So you'd have every man behind the ball. You'd cover the wings. It'd be so hard to break down. But note here, the midfield four here, they cover the left mid and right mid cover the wings. Centre mids cover this middle bit of the pitch. If you want them to be a bit more defensive, and especially when people are playing around your box, you want them to sit on the edge of the box to protect you there, then you play the second variation, have CDMs, they'll protect there a bit more. But here, look, the flat midfield, hard to get past, but if you do get past them, they'll still get back, and then you can just, to get past them, they're going to have to do quite an aggressive pass. You can just step in with the two centre-backs anyway. Flat midfield four are really hard to get past, they're very solid, they cover lots of areas of the pitch. But then this formation is a very good counter-attacking formation. Whoops. It's a very good counter-attacking formation because the left mid and right mid on getting behind get forward very quick. When they get forward, lots of width, then you can counter-attack quickly at pace. Okay, this attack here shows how you can use a lot of the space in the pitch. You can use the centre mids, even starting with the full-backs. Create some space. I'm just messing around with the ball in midfield, waiting for some runs. Now I have a centre mid who's gone into the box. I have my two strikers, so it's got my opponent has got a lot to think about defensively. Get to Jared, quick drag back, use nice left stick dribble in the box to create some space. The left mid here has drawn his ram, or right mid. I think he might have been playing 4-4-2 actually. Yeah, he was playing the 4-4-2. His right mid has marked him, so that's taken one man. The Gerrard centre mid run into the box has taken him and him. Sanchez gets free, and then Figo, the other striker, has taken the other two defenders. You look, Sanchez gets free, and it's always going to be an easy goal from there. You can see this attack here. Again, we have lots of options. But I probably should have passed it to this player running forward. I think Zidane running from deep. But there again, the centre mid breaks through their midfield and makes a late run into the box. If you can be patient with the strikers, left mid, right mid, use ball rolls, drag back, scoop turns, left stick dribbling around the box to delay and create time and space, the centre mids will make runs into the box that you can pass to. And there, if I had a pass, he'd just run there and hit it near post and had an easy goal. Lots of options here. There, I'd take a bad shot. I tried a driven shot. But here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players effectively in the box. The centre mid still sat there. Lots of options. Very hard for my opponent to defend. Boys, hope those gameplay clips and explanations showing you some of the attacking patterns, how you defend with a 4-4-2, helped explain why it's such a good formation, why it can be useful, some of the strengths of it. Obviously, some of the weaknesses of it can get countered a bit easily if you want it to be a really good attacking formation. It doesn't have the same amount of men coming back as the 4-2-3-1, but the attack is really nice because you get lots of width. You get the 2 strikers that most of the other good formations lack. I really like that the centre mids get involved. They get into the box. You can make it a bit better defensively with 2 CDMs in the second variation. 4-4-2 as well. Very good for pressing. It's a very good balanced formation. Throughout the history of football, 4-4-2 ever since it was invented, it's just a very balanced, flat formation that can do a lot. It's not got any major strengths to it, I'd say, compared to some other formations, but it's good in a lot of areas and will get consistent, solid results. Anyone who's used it, please let me know. If you try these tactics out and like it, please let me know. Hope it helps you out a lot, boys. Appreciate you a lot for watching. If you like these type of videos, like, comment, let me know. Also, subscribe to the channel every day at 7 PM. New educational content helping you boys out. Also, rate your teams. It's going to be tomorrow. Make sure you comment on my Twitter. I will be tweeting in the evening tonight. I've probably already tweeted before this video goes out, actually. Comment on there with a high quality picture of your team. Make sure you're following my Twitter for a chance to be in the Rate Your Teams video tomorrow. Appreciate you all, boys. Hope you have a great evening. Hope these tactics help you out. Peace.